Alright, real quick guys, I'm gonna try and do this video without starting too much shit. I recently, within the last week, got an Infimech TX. This is really an unknown printer. This is from the company, I think Flying Bear. They're obviously a Chinese company. They're expanding into the US under the branding Infimech, and this is their TX model. This printer I bought for $299 shipped. That's including that's shipped to my door. There is some accessories I also purchased, but they have not showed up, so they have not been installed. And those accessories are an auxiliary cooling fan, a filtration system, and a camera. In the meantime, I am running a Logitech through a USB in there. But other than that, this is a fully enclosed printer. I think it's got a 220 by 220 by 220 build volume or something similar to that. There'll be a link in the description. You can go check the specs on it. I don't quite remember. I know it is a little smaller. Actually, I think it's a 240. It's just slightly smaller than the Bambu Labs X1 Carbon. Otherwise, without the AMS in the picture, the specs are actually pretty similar. It is missing that auxiliary cooling fan and the camera and filtration. After those are added, the only other difference, or other major difference, is going to be the lack of a hardened steel nozzle. It still does have a stainless steel nozzle. It does get up to 300C. The bed gets up to 120, which I believe might be even slightly hotter than the X1 Carbon. And the most impressive part about this printer is it shows up pretty much exactly as you see it now. I think I had to install the handle on the glass and cut some zip ties, but other than that, it shows up completely ready to print. It is running a pretty stock version of Clipper, so stuff like this is possible, which is amazing. And we're running Orca Slicer. Coming from a year with the X1 Carbon, the experience with this printer is weirdly similar. This printer seems to just kind of work, and that's been the experience this entire time. If I come over here to this, you can see I have printed 70 jobs with a total time of 66 hours and 40 minutes, and that is within a week. I mean, it's the 29th, and if I change the rows per page, we're going back to like the 23rd. I did print, there's definitely more than that. I believe it, I'm not sure if it reset or what, or it's just not showing everything, but it has been less than 7 days with this printer, but I've had this printer going 24/7. I mean, you can see all the green checks. It's been succeeding probably 90% of the prints. 10% that it didn't were me setting up things, calibrating filaments, playing around with settings, adjusting Z level, stuff like that. Keep in mind, this was my first printer I ever owned, the X1 Carbon, which is not normal. With that being said, coming from that to a $300 Chinese machine, this thing has been pretty damn flawless. It's slightly quieter than the X1 Carbon. The quality is right there with the X1 Carbon, and it does it just as fast. It's kind of crazy. I really enjoy using it, and I love this clipper base. So over here we have Orca Slicer and Bambu Slicer pulled up. We're running completely stock profiles on both printers, and the filament settings on both printers are completely stock. I think I may have... Nope, so we're going to run stock temperature and everything. I was going to say I may have increased the temperature on the Infimech. It runs on the cold side for PLA. It's set to 195, and that's probably due to not having the cooling fan. And then the Bambu Labs runs 220. But we have two exact same STLs. I auto aligned it and everything, and they set them both in this exact same positioning. And it's showing 10 minutes on the Infimech and 17 on the Bambu Labs. I know the Infimech, for some reason, the prepare time on it shows 12 seconds, which obviously it's going to take longer to bed level and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start the Bambu Labs first. Make sure it's completely sent over, give it a little bit of a head start. Takes a second on the Bambu Labs. Come on. Alright, there we go. And then we're going to come over here to the Infimech and send it over. So here's our device page for both printers. You can see on Clipper we have I mean, everything you could ever imagine over here, you can completely control. It's the exact same thing here as it is on the, I have on the tablet. You can control everything you can think of on this printer. And then including here's the webcam I have plugged in through USB. So you can see live preview. I don't have it exactly mounted. After it starts printing, I can put it in this corner and it works pretty well, but the head can run into it when it's moving around doing the calibration and everything. Stock lighting, as you can see, the Infimech has amazing stock lighting. After being used to the X1C's kind of crappy stock lighting, you know, having this really good lighting's been pretty awesome. I had an aftermarket solution for lighting on the Bambu Lab, but the battery's dead, so we are dealing with stock lighting for now. But yeah, we're just gonna print both these and compare them and see the time it takes to print on them. Both machines are designed to print really fast, so this is kind of their whole purpose. Every now and then you are going to print stuff like this where you got a small part and you just want a really fast prototype, get it printed, see if it fits. And so the ability to get something printed out really quick is extremely helpful. Both printers are running Creality basic PLA. We're not running high-speed PLA or anything special. The Bambu Lab is running freshly dried silver PLA. I actually have a benchy here to show you kind of what it looks like. It's actually a really nice filament. I like the silver, it's nice. And then the Infimech is running color gradient filament, which is this, but as you can see, it's changing over to pink now, so we're probably going to be getting a pink part. And actually I can show you, this part was printed. This is just I think a 33 minute or a 40 minute benchy. This is the default benchy STL, default settings from the printer. This is if you put a benchy file on this printer, select the PLA profile and this printer and Orca Slicer, this is what you're gonna get. Oh, and if you throw it, that's not gonna help your case. But as you can see, this is actually a really nice print. If we put it here next to the silver one, this is from the Bambu Labs. This is from the Infimech. If you had to ask me which printer prints better quality, I would expect to say Bambu Labs, but honestly at this point it's kind of a 50-50, because these I would say are extremely close between the two. I mean, you can see overhangs on the Bambu are really good, but they're still not perfect. And then you'd say the same thing about this one. If these were the same color, I would have trouble telling which one came off which printer. But if you run the machines in their maxed out speed, so ludicrous mode on the Bambu Labs, 200% on the Infimech. This is off the Bambu Labs, same benchy, not changing anything whatsoever, just increasing the speed manually. You see we got stringing on the chimney and pretty bad overhang stuff going on the front, also on this corner. And then this is 200% on the Infimech. By the way, the Infimech beat the Bambu Labs on the fast benchy by about a minute, and then on the normal speed benchy, I think it beat it by about 5-6 minutes. So as you can see, I mean, it's not perfect on this one either, but it actually came out better. I mean, we got no stringing on the chimney. Maybe I can get this to focus a little better. Come on, do it. There we go. But as you can see, I mean, overhangs are not too bad. I mean, this is a default profile, just moving the speed on the printer to 200%. This is pretty hard on a printer. I mean, you can tell the Bambu Labs is supposed to be the king, and you know, it is just noticeably worse. But that's kind of what I was comparing. You know, if you're running these at 200%, the Infimech does it just a little better. I do think the Bambu Labs prints slightly faster in ludicrous mode, but as you can see, you're getting a pretty big performance drop. So, and as you can see, we started the Bambu Labs first. It's still going through bed level, and the Infimech has just started printing. So it's off to a better start. This is something I've noticed with the Infimech, especially for quick prototyping. This printer can get through its calibration and start printing a little faster. And to show you that first layer, it's looking pretty decent, and it's off to the races. This has been an awesome printer. I am going to go ahead and open the door on the Bambu Labs to give it some air. The top of the Infimech has this little hammock type hat you can flip back, which I actually at first didn't like, but now, like whenever I was seeing videos on this machine. But now that I have it, it's actually really convenient to be able to just lean it back. I've also printed polycarbonate on this machine, and it did really well. This is the first part I ever printed on it. I just threw a polycarbonate profile on there and hit print. And this is like a really nice polycarbonate print. And then here's the second one I did. This one I adjusted the Z offset just a little and got a better bed layer. But I mean, just really good quality. Even got that texturing on the side, kind of hard to see, but all the text looks good. Just really been impressed with this machine, and it's kind of hard to make a video like this because I know the Bambu Labs has a really good following, but I think there's some really good printers coming out on the market right now that are beating out the X1 Carbon in a few ways, and the X1 Carbon is 100% due for an update. Bambu Labs has probably got something in the works. I do trust that they do. And it's not just a bigger printer. A lot of people were saying, you know, the X1 Carbon with Bambu Labs just needs to make a bigger printer. No, they need to make a bigger printer that's updated, because the X1C, as amazing as this printer is, and this printer has stayed on top for a very long time, being that normally these kind of things are, even if it's the fastest printer in the world or the best, you know, buy it one time, a month later something new drops. The Bambu Labs has held its own for a while now, but you know, it's just, there's a few things. It's on the louder side, which they've updated and helped out a lot. It's still louder than the Infimech, I can tell for sure. And also this stock lighting is pretty bad. I think we're due for an updated model with at least better lighting. Like, I hope the X1 you know, Carbon, the larger version, if they drop like a 300 by 300 model, hopefully they learn not that this lighting is, you know, not the acceptable, but just hopefully they give us a little brighter light, because I hate that I have to do some jank lighting mod on my $1,200 printer to try and get better lighting. But especially when you can get a $300 printer from China that prints just as fast, quieter, and comes with good lighting. And Clipper, which, speaking of which, I can go ahead and throw the webcam up there. Yep, with Clipper you can just USB a webcam into the Infimech. I had to run a little bit of some, you know, I had to do some custom stuff to make it work. By custom, I mean it was like, there's a video to do it and it takes about 2-3 minutes to set it up, but it's pretty simple. And you can add multiple cameras too, which is really nice. So you can get multiple different angles and you can switch between them, or you can do all and it'll show you all the camera angles. But this also allows you to run, you know, whatever camera you want. I think you will be limited in frame rate. Like this is set to 10, which is still smooth. You might not be able to get 30-40 frames or anything, but you could get, you know, a really nice 4K webcam. This is a 15-year-old Logitech, but it still looks pretty decent. It's still 1080p, and you can see making pretty good progress on our part. I do believe the Bambu Labs is printing faster, and it is starting to catch up. It only goes so far though, because like I said, both of these Vinci prints, the Infimech 1 on the 100% speed, it won by a minute. So the X1 Carbon was printing faster, but the 5 to 6 minute, delay that it takes for the X1 Carbon to start printing, it was starting off behind. And then on the fast one, or the fast one was a minute, the slow one was 5-6 minutes. Either way, I expected the X1 Carbon to come back and beat the Infimech on the ludicrous mode one, maybe at lesser quality, and it still didn't actually beat this machine. So what I have found is, if I have an STL I want to print, the Infimech can print it faster, quieter, and I have a better experience with Clipper. I've just been kind of blown away at the difference between these two machines. For $300, this machine shouldn't even be even a comparison, but yet it is. And if you take the AMS out of the picture, they're actually really comparable. With this machine being all glass and aluminum, this is real glass, aluminum handle, all metal. Everything's pretty much metal. I mean, you do got some injection molded stuff in here, but it's in general, it's a very solid built machine. Maybe not quite as clean looking as the X1 Carbon, with having exposed hinges and stuff, but this also means that while being built like a X1 Carbon, it's more serviceable. If I need to take this side panel off, I know how to do it. The X1 Carbon, I hope to God I never have to take anything apart, because I have no idea how you take anything apart on the machine. It would possibly be a nightmare. And the Infimech, I'm confident that if a motor goes out or something, it won't be too hard to fix. But so far with the machine, the experience has been amazing. So I'm actually not quite expecting to have to do anything. And then as far as the screens on them go, the Bambu Labs definitely has a nicer screen. This is a very generic, basic screen. It does have a few really nice features that I like, but in general, the Bambu Labs definitely has a nicer screen. But considering you can, if you really wanted to, you could mount a tablet like this straight to the glass if you wanted to. And then you have, a way better screen. And then you also have full control over the entire printer. And you can do literally everything you could think of to control, you can control on this. And you could just have it right on the printer anywhere you want. Kind of makes, I kind of wish there was a way that I could detach the screen completely and not even run it, and not have this cut out in the door, and just use a tablet like this, because with Clipper you really don't even need the screen on the printer if you want to mount a tablet like this. But overall, the Bambu Labs definitely has the nicer of the screens. Both of them are really fast. The Bambu Labs has just got a lot better resolution. It's definitely a nice machine. But, I don't really use the machines on either printer. I don't really use the screens on either printer too much. I mostly just throw a print on them, pull the print off, and it's mostly just using the slicer and the device page within the slicer. But I will say the Bambu Labs has in the utilities the dry filament. I do use that a lot. I probably use this machine as a filament dryer more than I print on it now that I have the Infimech. It has probably dried 5 rolls this week, while the Infimech has printed for 70 hours. And the Bambu Labs probably has 2 hours of print time in the last week. Yeah, I know this is going to probably cause a lot of turmoil, especially from the Bambu Labs fans, but I'm just sharing my experience. I don't know if in the video you can tell how much louder the X1 Carbon is, but it is definitely louder, and there is the firmware update to help quiet the motors. It is a lot quieter than it used to be, but it's still nowhere near as quiet as the Infimech. The Infimech, I can work and have it running and it not bother me while in a meeting or anything. The Bambu Labs is definitely, if I need to print while I'm working, I'll put the Bambu Labs in silent, because this in silent is probably similar to the Infimech in 100%. But as you can see, what does it say, 0 minutes, so this is about to be finished. I think we're on that top layer. The Bambu Labs says a minute, so it's getting there. There we go, we are finished on the Infimech. Also nice that when it's done, let me get this tablet out of the way, but when it's done, I don't have to worry about all the lines, purge lines down the side and in the back on the Bambu Lab. On the Infimech, we got this guy that hangs off the side, which at first I thought was kind of weird, but it actually works really, really well. And then we just have a little purge line in the back. So there we go. There's our part. As you can see, actually, you know what? Like I did in my last little video, we'll leave it on the print bed because the lighting is amazing. There we go. Quality looks really good. A little bit of some lines, but it's to be expected. Come on, Bambu Labs, hurry up now. There we go, Bambu Labs is finishing up. Let me go ahead and take it, even though it's not completely done. It's still doing its stupid cleaning process. But there we go, now we got the Bambu Labs one out. You can see it has the exact same lines going on. Not as noticeable on the silver, but it's definitely there. Then we'll look at the insides. As you can see, the overhang on both machines is not perfect. Actually, you know what? The Bambu Labs overhang might be worse on the bottom. That's kind of surprising. It also has a little kick out on that side versus perfectly straight up on the Infimech. So this is just a testament to the Infimech, guys. Keep in mind, both of these 3D printed parts are very good quality. This is good, for sure. But like I wanted to show, the Infimech printed it faster, started, 10-15 seconds after, and the quality is just as good, if not better. And it doesn't even have the cooling fan yet. Super impressive. These are our top layers. Both parts definitely look really good. First layer actually looks better on the Infimech. And we did a flow calibration, so don't know what to tell y'all, but there's a whole video. Like I said, default everything. It's the Infimech versus the Bambu Labs, and that's why I'm using the Infimech.